Was good. When I watched the Animatrix, I've seen the Matrix and I've seen the Men in Black. I watched the first and second one. I don't. I believe there's a third one, but I couldn't find that. I heard it wasn't good, but that was a while ago. I'm not gonna lie. That was like 5 months ago that I seen the first and the second one. Yesterday or the day before that, I watched the Animatrix. That tripped me out. That tripped me out because a lot of it was making sense. And I genuinely do see that happening for the future timelines that this society resonates with or aligns themselves with or allows themselves to align with that. And not only that, but these occultic groups putting these documentaries or movies into now this was 2003 2006. I forget when this movie came out, but them putting that into that format within within Saturn's cube. So right, so you go into the movie theaters, you got checkerboard everywhere. If you know what checkerboard means, it's the conscious and subconscious mind. Meaning, in Freemasonry, it's not like this exact quote, but it's something similar to this. What what they do behind closed doors is okay as long as that stays in the private, and what you do in the public, as long as you do good, those things won't matter. That's basically what that means. You know, you can do research on that. Call Me Kinfolk is a good channel for that. Darius Harrison is a good channel for that. Or you could just go online and look up the checkerboard meaning. But I mean, it's in music videos. It's in music videos. It's in podcasts. It's in streamer podcasts or streamers. Beings will wear it. Celebrities will wear it. You can see it on sports sometimes. Just when you see it, you know. When you know, you know. Movies, television, TV shows, you know. But you go into the movie theater, you go into Saturn's black cube basically, and you're stuck within time because the screen is already a square in itself. I don't know what that was, but I just heard something. The screen is already a square in itself, and it's projecting a movie to you, or it's projecting this. It's projecting this story to you that was never real to itself, but has realness within it, telling you in a subliminal way, or sometimes just straight up telling you, but saying it in a comedic format. Now, I'll get back to the Animatrix. This shit was crazy, especially the last one, because in the Animatrix, if you don't know, it's like they show different clips of like timelines within the timeline. I don't know if I finished what I was saying earlier, but these parasitic beings will put the truth into the movies, the truth of their timelines that they want to bring forth, and they'll mirror it back to us through these movies. So now we see this. Now we're believing this. Where this thought is put into our minds, and now these parasitic organisms, which can't create for themselves, have to mirror that through us to create that reality. So like with AI, I mean, you can already see it happening, but I'm saying like the AI takeover, you can already see it happening. So it's been happening. But back to what I was saying with the Animatrix, I was talking about the last one. The last one, so they get this robot, and they're basically trying to conform it to be on the human side. But while they're doing that, like, so they put the thing in the back of their neck, they go into this different dimension, or this VR world, and they're trying to get this AI robot to become, like I just said, become on the human side, or to work with them, or to whatever. And it's like a trip. It's like a trip. If you ever seen it, it's like a trip. And then at the end, the robot puts the girl who's unconscious. He puts the thing back into her neck. That's crazy. That was crazy to me. But my bad. That movie was just like, it was just wow, because I do see that happening. I see this realm is already ran off of inverted mindsets, inverted beings, transhumanism, transgenders. So unless society wakes up to what they've always been sleep to and sleep in, that timeline will exist. And do I see society waking up to what they've always been sleeping? Yes, but you have to understand too that this realm of existence always existed and never existed to begin with. So what I mean by that, all timelines are happening right now. So that timeline does exist because it was put into our minds. That timeline does exist. So I'm not going to experience that, at least within my timeline, within my lifetime, I'll say, within my lifetime, because what is the timeline? Within my lifetime. But there will be beings who do experience that, I feel like. But if it never existed, then, I mean, that was just a script to play out in. And so, I'm trying to think of another clip. I'll go back to the dude who was running, because that's what I remember the most. He was running track. He was trying to break his own world record. And he was trying to get, excuse me, he was trying to get sub 9 seconds or 8 seconds. I don't remember. But as he was running, they were trying to make him not wake up. And it's still all new to me. I need to watch it again so I can make a better interpretation on the movie. But as he was running, in the background you had the CIA agents or the Men in Black. It's really all it is, just CIA agents. They were trying to make him not wake up, right? So they were sending the other runners, or was it the other runners? They started sending beings after him to stop him from breaking the world record, to stop him from waking up. And so he beats the world record, right? He beats it. He beats his record. He goes into a surgery, and when it cuts back to him going down this hallway with the nurse pushing him, this nurse is just blabbering about her grandma's pie, just putting nonsense into this dude's brain, right? And this dude, I'm assuming he finally realized what he was in. And I don't know if that, I mean, because if we're talking about track, if we're talking about sports and all like that in this realm of existence, you know what you got to do to get into that. You know what type of bloodlines you're going to be a part of to get into that, or sacrifices that you have to make to get into that. But I'm saying for this circumstance within this documentary, I'm still thinking about what he realized he was being sleeping. So, but he got up out of the wheelchair. He got up, right? And he started walking, and the CIA agent was telling him to get down or sit down. He said sit down. He said sit down twice. He was like, sit down. He said it like that. And so I think he fell because he couldn't walk that much unless the CIA agent was controlling him through sending thoughts to him. Still thinking about it. I gotta question myself. And then I remember the other one where this being jumped off the top of the school. He jumped off the top of the school to come out of this, to come out of the dream that he was in, the Matrix, right? And prior to that, he was talking to the other being. I don't know which being it was. He was talking to through the computer screen, but he was like, "Am I alone?" And then the computer responded, "No, you are not alone." Something like that. I did like that one. I also remember seeing the one with the detective and Trinity. So the detective was hired by the CIA or the Men in Black or what would you call it? Something agents. I'm forgetting. I can't believe I'm forgetting that. But Men in Black, we could just go with that. Right. With that, they hire this detective to find Trinity, which is a part of the group that is alive or is experiencing the future timeline, but they travel back to the past timelines. And I never really asked myself why. And I guess it's to wake up more beings to not live in that timeline. And you know what? This answer can be easily answered, most likely. But I like to stay open-minded and to just understanding the movie. That's why I gotta watch it again. But that one was interesting too. And beyond that, I don't honestly remember much. I'm trying to remember the first one that I seen. The first one that I seen was the introduction, and they were fighting with the swords, and it was like, was that Trinity and what's that dude's name? Starts with the M. I don't want to misspell it or missay it. Morpheus. It was Morpheus, right? Morpheus and Trinity. I'm assuming it was. But I know this is supposed to be a prequel. Animatrix is supposed to be a prequel to Animatrix, or to the Matrix, but yeah, anyways. They were fighting, and then I remember the second scene went into this animated, I know the introduction was animated, but it was like 3D animated. Then the next one went into like this anime style, which it was dope. I'm not gonna lie, but they were fighting, and I don't know if it was Morpheus, but this dark-skinned being, was trying to wake up Trinity, or this lady. I don't know if it was Trinity. I don't even know what her name was. I forget right now, but basically this being turned into an agent for the system, for because the red pill and the blue pill, the conscious mind and subconscious mind. He was talking about, oh, you wish you didn't take this pill, right? You wish you didn't become conscious. Come with me and let's be sleep. Let's go back to the Matrix. And she was like, I can't do that. So they were fighting it out. And it was just a test. But it really it affected her. You could tell. And I think that's interesting because with that scenario, with that situation, you are tested daily. You are tested not only through your choices, but through things that happen around you, through things that you higher self puts yourself in. So like, that's going back to what I was saying in my last video. I was talking about, let's say you gotta wash the dishes, but you want to play the game, or just things like that. Not allowing your ego to run your life, not allowing Satan to run your life. Satan and God are just titles, and they're aspects of yourself that you have to love, or you need to learn to love on, or you should learn to love on, because if you don't, you'll be living a lie. And it's about walking that thin line between ignorance and bliss. I don't know if that would work, but it's walking that thin line between Satan and God, or your ego and your higher self. It's walking that thin line and only take when it resonates with you. So getting into the next topic, talking about the incubuses, or the egg, or the human energy harvesting thing that the AI created to basically put, and it's crazy because this reminds me of Monsters Inc. when they would take the energy from the kids screaming, put it into the canister, and they would use that as energy, right? So in the Animatrix, the robots were using the humans for energy by harvesting their energy within the dreams, the Matrix. That's the answer to my question. They would go back to the Matrix to save beings, to wake them up from the incubus, that's how I see it right now. I'm open-minded to any other perspective, but that's how I'm seeing it. I'm just learning as I talk. But they would, hold on. Let me think of where I was. We're talking about the eggs, the energy harvesting. So the AI were using the humans to harvest their energy through the dreams that they put themselves, that the robots put the human beings into the Matrix, and what they would go through, they would harvest their energy. So, and with them being in the dream, they were unconscious to what they're actually living in. That's exactly what's going on in society as we speak. Not only this timeline, but many other timelines. There really aren't timelines, but it's just a repeated cycle. The Ouroboros, right? So beings who are infatuated with celebrities, beings who have gluttony, beings who are envious, beings who don't love themselves, beings who scroll on YouTube all day, social media, beings who are infatuated with other people's lives and not their own, beings who don't learn or study about them, not only about themselves, but just other topics in general, beings who don't find hobbies, don't find interests that they want to grow in. The list goes on. But if you fall into the illusion of illusions, there is no saving you besides yourself. Because I cannot help you. I can guide you, but if you're speaking for myself, I'm still on my journey, and that journey is never ending until I transcend up out of here. But even so, then, is that really the ending of my journey? No. It's just another another form, another mindset. I will definitely be making another part on this video once I catch up to the Matrix, and not once I catch up, but once I rewatch the Matrix, and I'm gonna rewatch I'm gonna rewatch the Animatrix as well. But that's it for this video, and I appreciate you and I love you, and just have a great day today. All right, peace.